congratulations. Hey, you faced some pretty stiff competition this year, and you came out on top. I mean, you know, 3 of them were arrested for embezzlement and fraud, I think, but that, you know, let's face it, that pretty much narrowed the field. But still, you won, and that's all that matters. I remember the first time I met you. You welcomed me into your home, and I was greeted at the door by that dog you used to have, Ponzi, and he showed me all of the things that you collect and memorabilia, and you had pictures of the wall of celebrities and friends and family, and I passed by one picture, and this kind of stood out. I'm going to use air quotes now. I said, "Who's that, Bill?" I thought it was an uncle or something. They say, "Oh yeah, it's Michael. It's my Uncle Bernie." But anyway, you welcomed me into the home, gave me an iced tea. I checked my balance sheet later, and was going over my expenses, and I noticed later, because I remember the date, there was a $1.75 beverage charge, but that's all right. It's all right. Anyway, congratulations. Seriously. Willie, I've had one business manager. You're the one. Seriously, if I had to do it all over again, I would absolutely choose you. You've been a buddy, a skiing partner, and a pro, and a mensch. You're a great dad. You're a great guy. I love you. See ya.
Film director, screenwriter, actor, and producer, Tom Patchett.
Michael Keaton was busy. Aaron Sorkin, not here. Fine. I guess we have a winner, Bill Tanner. Who voted? I'm not sure I would have gone that way, but okay, spread it around. Okay. Bill would never let me out of the room. Thank you. I'm a panicker. I don't care that much about money, really. Well, no, this is a mess. But the guy is like, he believes in what he believes in, and he has not only done well with his clients, but has been the envy of other institutions, and has now this incredible reinvestment fund that has a lot of money in it, and from a lot of institutions. I used to be his #1 client. I was his first client, I think. When I met, he did my taxes in 1971 or 2 for $75. And then I found out that Lauren tells the same story, and Bill only charged him $60. We'll talk later. I'm just here as a friend of Bill's, and when we're in private, he says, "You're my best friend," which I think only ensures our little secrets, none of which are worth repeating. But the thing about Bill is that he has so many friends. This is really, really important to my opinion of Bill Tanner as a human being, and as a friend, and as a mensch. He has friends that go back to his high school fraternity, Ku Klux something, what was that?
This guy.
No, but he, and from the army, and they're still his friends. He will not abandon them for any reason. He will pay attention to them. He returns phone calls. He seeks out his friends to make sure that these friendships continue. And I just think you've got to be a really stand-up guy, a stand-up person, and an honest person to be able to do that. I don't care if you've lived here all your life and you automatically, maybe you do have some friends, but I don't know anybody that really doesn't respect Bill. And could we have a show of hands of people who do not? There we have it. Unanimous. Anyway, I'm just here to speak for everybody that Bill, you're the man. You're the best. And I love you. And we all do. I think now it's time to introduce you. Ladies and gentlemen, William H. Tanner. H is for Howard.
Thank you, Tom. He's a good man, Tom. I want to start off thanking Russell for fixing my tie before this all started. Thank you. You know, when I got this honor, when I was told that I was going to be the business manager, you know, being honored, you know, it's truly exciting, truly honored. I want to thank, you know, Variety and City National Bank, and I was one of the happiest people to hear that I won this award. I was taken back. It was really special to me. I've been doing this for 40, 50 years. But the next morning, I woke up and I wasn't that happy because I realized I have to give a speech today, you know, and that didn't make me thrilled at all. And I'm used to, you know, giving out financial advice behind closed doors and some creative advice. And I'm here and I did get my client's approval for this, to talk about some of the creative advice and not financial advice I gave my clients. And it starts off with Mr. Tom Patchett. And Tom called me one day and came in and said, you know, I've done a pilot. I've done a pilot, Bill, about an alien. And an alien came from Melmac. And this alien, you know, Bill, it flies to the air and it falls on a house. Already I'm starting to sweat. I mean, you know, this is really important to me. You know, syndication and shows. And Tom said, but there's more to it than that. I'm going to name the family that this little alien falls on. I'm going to name it the Tanner family. Jesus, now I was really very getting upset. And he said, I'm going to name the father of this family Willie Tanner. And, you know, I saw my career going down the hill if this thing failed. I mean, really, this is frightening to me, but that wasn't the worst thing that happened. You know, it was years later, just recently, and I did again get my permission, that Aaron Sorkin called me on the phone and said, Bill, you're not going to like to hear this. And I said, what is this? He said, I'm going to do a play. I said, already, you know, I was nervous. A play to a business manager is a dirty word. I mean, you know, a lot of us are on percentages, and this is a year. And he says, and this play is going to be, Bill, I need your opinion. It's going to be based on a book that was made into a movie. Everyone's seen the movie, and it's going to take me a year. And I hate to tell you the advice I gave these two gentlemen, and thank God neither of them took my advice. You know, as CPAs, we've got to stick to the financial end of the field, and I just want to let you know that. And there's many more after that, but I couldn't get the client's permission. I want to also thank another thing, this gives me a chance, after all these years, to thank the people that allowed me to get up here. And, you know, and that's why I really enjoyed getting this award. First, I want to thank 3 people on my staff. You know, I want to thank Tia Boyd, who was the office manager who really voted for me here. I think she's who got me up here. And Nicole Sykes, who is one of my assistants, who, God, I couldn't do anything without her. And of course, everyone knows her, and Jackie Oliski, who has been with me. Jackie's been with me for over 30 years. She screens all my calls. She knows who I should be talking to and who I shouldn't. And, you know, without these three women, and I tell you, every firm has office managers and assistants, but none of them have been there 20 or 30 years and have stayed there through thick and thin and all the problems, you know, we go through as CPAs with our firms. Which leads me to the next thing. I'd like to thank my partners. And I have many of them. And, you know, my youngest partner, David Cornell, is here, and he is the future of the firm. Rob Harrison is our tax partner, who has done an unbelievable job throughout the years. And Mike Glynn, who's our business partner that handles a lot of businesses and different forms of the tax work that we have, along with Rob. And then there's my left and my right arm, and I actually say it, you know, Tom Filati, who handles a lot of my work, and Brad Jonsson. I think everyone out here probably speaks to those two gentlemen more than they speak to me. I mean, they are the backbone that have helped me out all these years. And without those two gentlemen, you know, I would, you know, have a problem. And then there becomes the major, you know, person that in my life, you know, Peter Mainstain I met many years ago. He's been with me, partners with me. He changes the years all the time. I like to say 50, but it's only 44, but it's 50 sounds better. You know, so, you know, and Peter, without Peter, he has organized this firm. I couldn't organize, you know, a notebook. You know, Peter has organized this firm. He handles the employees. You know, he has handled things that I don't even, you know, think about. The leases, we wouldn't even be in a building. We'd be in a garage without Peter. I mean, he has, you know, gotten these leases straight, you know, and no one sees the back end of how a firm gets built. But Peter is really there, but he handles stuff that a CPA firm sometimes comes up with that deals with legal matters. I could say lawsuits. And here's what happens when that happens, anything like that. I sit in my office and I scream out of my door, I say, you know, Jackie, get me City National Bank on the phone. No, Jackie, get me Martha Henderson on the phone. And then she gets me on the phone, I get, is this City National Bank? And they say, is this Martha? And I said, we can't find her. I said, find her! You know, without Martha Henderson and what she's done for this firm, you know, over a 30-year period, you know, again, I wouldn't be standing up here. You know, that's for sure. And then I want to thank you, Martha, and City. I want to thank my clients, which, you know, some couldn't make it today because they're actually working. You know, so I picked the clients that aren't working. You know, and I'd like, and they're sitting here, and a few couldn't make it today, like Tony Beal, because he had things to do. But Ken Kaufman, who has been with me for many years, and you know, he's also a restaurateur now because, you know, you ruined the 2-hour movie business. Excuse me. And, you know, and then there's Sean Callery, who has become a close friend of mine. And a lot of these are Emmy winners and Academy Award winners. And, you know, there's Sean Callery, who I really, you know, love doing work with and become a close friend. There's Jordan Kerner, who wrote one of the sweetest ads in Variety that I have ever seen, you know, for me, and I really appreciate that. I will take that with me forever. I want to thank Jordan. Eva Marie Saint, you know, Eva's been with me and has stuck with me for all these years. I'm so proud, you know, to say that I am her business manager. She showed up today, and you know, that is, to me, means everything to me. So I want to thank you, Eva. And then, of course, Tom Patchett, and you know, he was my first client. And he is probably my best friend, even though he thinks I have other best friends. And I know, you know, Tom is more than the reason I'm standing up here. He has sent me every client that has helped grow this firm, and there are offshoots from that. And, you know, without Tom, you know, I hate to think, you know, I'd probably have a little, you know, H&R Block shop on Pico Boulevard, somewhere like that. You know, so, and I really believe that. And so, thank you, Tom, for introducing me. It's special to me. There are many business managers that actually worked for our firm in the past. And I'd like to thank them. And one of them, and some of you are out here today, is John Blakeman, you know, Steve Martini, the Andrew Boys, Andrew Crow, Andrew Meyer. I call them the Andrew Boys. And then there's also Tony Payroll, who was a partner one time, who were very close friends, skiing together, hanging together. And I think Tony's over there, and I really love Tony, and you know, I'm glad you're all doing well, and I hope our firm had a lot to do with the success of you guys starting your own firms and carrying on, you know, the business management, you know, forever. So I really appreciate that. And I think I thank most of the people I could. I'm trying to see if there's someone I missed. Oh, many years ago, not many years, about 7 years ago, I was out having dinner and I went to UCLA and a friend of mine came up to me and said, "Bill, you ought to start giving back to the community. You had success, you know, and it's time to give back." So he got me onto the board and I went to UCLA at the Jonsson Cancer Center Foundation. And for the last, you know, 8 or 9 years, I've been on the board. I've been on the audit committee, which didn't do any good, but you know, I was on the audit committee because I'm not an auditor. But, you know, they thought I was, so that was great. Then I became on the fundraising committee, even worse. You know, it's very hard, and I know I've asked a few clients for money, but it's not easy asking your clients for money. But this is one of the greatest cancer foundations in this country. And to honor me today, you know, Dr. Michael Keaton is here, who is the executive, president or founder of the, not founder, but of the Jonsson Comprehensive Cancer Center. He's also the president of the Jonsson Center Cancer Foundation. And it really is special to me, Doctor, that you showed up today. He runs the foundation. This, you know, I've tried to talk to my clients over the years when they do some estate planning to, you know, think about leaving some money to the foundation, you know, when everything is done for their lives, because, you know, cancer affects everybody, and this is one of the top cancer foundations in this country. And I thank you for allowing me to be on the board. I hope in the future I can help out a little more than I have in the past as I get older here. And, you know, in closing, this is the truth. Between my friends out here, my daughters are here, Amanda and Aaron, which flew in from Boulder just to see me today, which is pretty special, and I appreciate that. And I just gave a speech, and I know this is not too important to you guys, to my daughter's wedding, who just got married in Telluride. Thank you for putting me up in that altitude, and I got sick as hell. No, thank you. It was the altitude, Amanda. Now, and in closing, my friends, my clients, my staff, my partners, I truly believe this. Without the support of everybody in this room, and especially everybody I mentioned, I truly believe that I'd be selling Christmas trees on Wilshire and Comstock. You know, I really believe that. So thank you for supporting me.